you doing?
Good, thanks.
Thank you guys for letting me join.
Sure, absolutely. Any way we can help you, that's great.
Is that a picture or did your video froze? I think it's a picture.
Tell me that.
Oh. Yeah, we were saying before the last two of you joined that most people join between 12:11 and 12:15. So we're still there, but we're about to start though. We only have 45 minutes, so.
Stay strict to the time limit.
Every time the little thing rings, my son points toward the front door and he goes, oh, he thinks someone's here.
Nice.
And then Jeremy, my son's name is Jeremiah. And every time you guys are saying Jeremy, he going, huh? Who? Huh?
How do they know me?
Oh, it's funny.
Welcome, Matt.
I just want to say thanks too for inviting me to this. I'm excited to see where this goes. So
Awesome. Good.
thank you.
Great.
Ready to go?
I think so. Jordan, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Hi, Jordan. All right, we'll go ahead and get, I'll kick this off. I am Mike Gannon, one of the founding partners of Pinnacle Action Coach. And on behalf of our whole team at Pinnacle, we appreciate and respect and understand that you are sharing with us one of the most valuable things that you have, which is your time. And not only do we want to help you change your business, we want to help inspire you to grow your business. And, you know, during the last, let's call it 18 months, in some places it's been very tough, in other places it's been really awesome. And either way, we want to help you become successful as you define success. Joining me today, and you'll get a chance to meet them along the way. But joining me is another founding partner, Gonzalo Herrera, and Gonzalo will talk here momentarily. And then two people that make it happen are marketing and operations, Katrina and Kyron. They're also going to be on the call, and you know, they're great resources for you as well. So anyway, let's get things kicked off. And what I'd like to do before we go too deep into this is give you the opportunity, I don't know if you guys can see this, but quickly have you unmute and introduce yourself just real quick with name, business name, and the industry you're in. And, you know, that way you get an idea of who, I mean, what we found in these sessions are not only are they educational and help you impact your business, but they also help you network. And during this time, you just never know who may be an opportunity to be a customer of yours. So we want to allow you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Again, we are all about you, so we're not going to spend a lot of time telling you about Pinnacle Action Coach. The other reason, I mean, you'll get that through the course of the 4 weeks. The other reason is this isn't about being, you know, sales and doing commercials. That's not what this is about. This is about getting you some real world tools and strategies that can help you impact your business, okay? So let's just go around. Sestany, if you would like to start, just name, business name in the industry you're in.
I am Sestany Berline, Crowther as my married name. My business name is By Sestany, so just BY Sestany. And my industry is I make organic skincare from scratch.
And that's one of the most important jobs you have.
Yes.
Kelly, how about you?
Hi, everyone. I apologize. I'm not on camera. I'm not at a place I can do that right now. But my name is Kelly Cannon, and my business name is E3 Action Coach. And I'm here to learn from this Pinnacle group. And I appreciate them letting me sit in on this and learn how to grow my own business, which is also business coaching. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Cannon, not to be confused with Gannon, right? We're going to have to figure out how we keep people from getting confused, right?
Right.
Jordan, how about you?
My name is Jordan Miller with Fantasy Farm Media, and my industry is video. So I shoot video for a living, primarily with motorsports, but also my goal for 2021 is sort of to get into my local market here at home. So I spend a lot of time on the road throughout the year, so I'm trying to tap into the Cincinnati market instead.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Please do me a favor, Jordan. Please don't judge. I'm not the whole Zoom thing, so we go in and out. So being a video guy, all right. So yeah, I'm glad I got you to laugh. That's what I said.
No, it's all good. I understand the practicality of Zoom. So
yeah, I hear you, Matthew or Matt. How about you?
I also apologize for not being online. I'm just going to be jockeying between three things at the same time in preparation for a 1 o'clock meeting, so I apologize. I'm known as JV Man, joint venture manager, mediator, and attorney. I'm really big into intellectual property systems and processes based upon my initial experience with managing 6,500 realtor E&O claims in 48 states, and then over 50,000 medical malpractice claims with 10 different insurance carriers. And so I've taken all this knowledge and moved it from helping insurance companies save millions of dollars to helping dentists to exit their practice with 2 to 3 times more than they would have if we didn't enter into their lives. So we call it 2x PV, 2x practice valuation. And everybody I work with, because I had to focus on something, so it became independent dentist. And I have partners who have grown multiple practices to 2 to 3 million in collections, 9 million in collections. So I said to a couple of doctors, I said, I'll be your Ray Kroc if you'll be my McDonald's. So that's what I do, replicate successful models from successful dentists and help other dentists to apply them. And my number one goal is now helping dentists to double their practice through sleep dentistry and medical billing. So we can now help dentists get 2 to 3 times more reimbursement, $4,000 to $6,000, and the health insurance company pays for it. So it's a win-win-win. The patient wins, they don't have to pay. The dentist gets 2 to 3 times more money. And we get to make a lot of money because we're building a franchise around it. We call it Total Smile Protection. So, I just like creating new stuff. That's my thing, and finding the right people to help me to do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Jeremy.
Oh, wait, one more thing. If you ever want to look what we do, it's called libertizingdentist.com. Like liberty, libertizingdentist.com. I'm done now.
Thanks. Jeremy.
Hey everybody, my name's Jeremy Lindy. The name of my company is called Green Mountain Group, and we clean toilets for a living.
It's awesome. Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Santel, and my company name is Stay Play Made Simple. We are an event housing management company. We handle hotel accommodations for sporting events and any kind of event that needs 10 or more rooms.
Awesome. Awesome. Dennis, the man, the myth, the legend. Dennis, good seeing you again. What we're asking folks to do is just name, business name, and the industry. This one you guys are gonna love.
Okay. I'm Dennis Porter. I'm Dayton, Ohio. I'm a full-time caricature artist. Used to draw at parties. That's not happening these days. But I've got a lot of studio stuff, drawing from photos. And caricatures by Dennis Porter, drawme.com. That's us.
Hopefully before it's all said and done, Dennis, you can do a caricature, pick somebody out and do a caricature through one of the 4 weeks. How's that?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. I think that's everybody, the non-Pinnacle folks introduced. So I want to go ahead and kick it off. I would ask you to leave things on mute. We will make this interactive, I promise you. If you just are sitting here listening to Gonzalo and I, then we failed. So we'll want to make it interactive. So the next 4 weeks together, we're going to spend, and really here's what we're going to do. 3 things. we're going to help with mindset, because mindset matters, and mindset is a choice we all make every day. So mindset's going to be in everything, in all 4 of the seminars or 4 of the sessions. A little bit smaller part of the section, but an important part nonetheless. The second thing that we're going to do is we want to figure out how to have the biggest impact. And we will use 2 models that we use at Action Coach. One is 6 steps to a business that operates without you. And I know you're probably saying, yeah, right, business operates without me, no way. Well, that's the model. And Gonzalo's going to share with us a little bit about that here shortly. And then the second, where we'll spend the bulk of our time, are the five ways to grow your business over 60%. Does that mean we'll all grow our business over 60%? No. But if all of us can identify a strategy or 2 to grow our business by 10%, how beautiful would that be? Except perhaps Matthew. Matt wants to 2x the dentist practices, which is awesome. So that's what really, I mean, very simply, mindset, 6 steps to a business that works without you, and 5 ways to massive growth. We'll show you how you can grow 60+%. So with that, we're gonna dive right in with the first mindset exercise, or the first mindset, the formula for change. And let me set something up, and I want you to write this on your paper. I also should tell you that Kyron will be sending out some key notes in case you missed something. We're also video and recording this, so if you want to drop back and look at it and maybe refresh your notes, that's doable. So don't panic if you don't get it. Once we say it, there's lots of opportunity to get the information. So what I do want you to write down on your piece of paper is this. There are your mind processes between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% of them, 80% of them are negative. 95% of them are repetitive from the previous day. So mindset matters. Mindset is a choice that we all have to make when we get out of bed every day. You have a choice to make. Am I going to listen to that 80% negativity that's going on in my brain right now, or am I going to fight through that, and I'm going to X through that, and I'm going to battle and have the mindset and mind frame to be successful? We'll all make that choice. We encourage and hold folks accountable to make that positive choice. So let's first start with the formula for change. Okay, D times V plus F has to be greater than R. D is in David, times V is in Victory, plus F, Frank, has got to be greater than R. Anybody have any idea what R is? Anybody? Raise your hand if you know what R is. Are you cheating, Dennis? What's R, Dennis?
Negativity.
It's actually resistance, but it is you've got to resist the negativity. All of these have to be greater than your resistance to the change. So D, your dissatisfaction. We have to catch you at a time when you're dissatisfied. If we catch you at a time when you're ultimately satisfied, what's your motivation to want to change, right? Dissatisfaction times vision. We have to have a vision for where we're headed and what the future looks like and what the future is going to hold. You have to be able to see that, or again, what's your motivation to change? So dissatisfaction times your vision, parentheses for any math specialist out there, plus F. F is first steps. Not only do you need to be able to see the vision and where you're headed and the direction you're headed, but you've got to be able to understand and add on to that. I know the first steps and I'm ready, willing, and able to take those first steps. All of that has to be greater than your resistance to change, or you will not change. Why do we start with this? The reason we start with this is if you are setting out, if success for your business is growth, you've got to change your mindset and don't be resistant to growth. Okay? if, whatever your motivation is, and hopefully for everyone it's growth, you've got to be motivated and have to have a greater than resistance to that growth. Okay, so what did I want you to write down? Scratch that 80% out. Okay, by simply scratching that 80% out, you're going to give yourself a chance to be that much more positive going forward now that I've raised your awareness to it. So mindset, that's our mindset moment for this particular session. Dissatisfaction times vision plus first step's got to be greater than resistance. So with that, I'd like to pass it over to another founding partner at Pinnacle Action Coach, my partner in crime here during our sessions, Gonzalo Herrera.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for that. Well, good afternoon to all. And again, thank you for being here and spending your time, your lunchtime with us. Again, my name is Gonzalo Herrera with Pinnacle Action Coach. And I want to tell you something. I used to make a mistake with Zoom calls. Maybe you're one of those. Top right, it says view. You can click either on gallery to see everybody, or if you put it on speaker, you get to see our flip charts bigger in your screen. Okay, just in case. So yes, if you keep it on mute, unless you have a question, then that would be great. Like Mike said, we are going to have a few minutes only of mindset every one of the 4 weeks that we're going to be together. Because if we don't have our mindset right, it's going to be really hard to accomplish our goals. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you, brief way, a description of the methodology that we use when we work with business owners. And just in case you didn't know, Action Coach itself has been around for almost 30 years. Why do I tell you that? To show you that it works, okay? It's a proven method. And I want to explain to you the overview of that method. And then I'm going to tell you where are we going to focus ourselves for the next 4 weeks on growth, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to start you with what we call a successful business, a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. And we have keywords here that we're going to make reference to during the next 4 weeks, right? It's a commercial entity, right? We are buying, selling, producing. We don't have any nonprofits here, I believe. So we're in the business of making money, right? Enterprise that works. And that is highlighted in red for a reason. One of the big reasons why a lot of business owners find themselves working so hard and so many hours is because that business is not necessarily working well. They are working so the business can run. Our objective is to get you to a business that works even when you are not there. Mike made reference to that. We want you to have a business that either if you're there or not is going to do the job. And that is the way to start working more as an owner than just another employee of that business. All right. So again, we're going to make reference to some of this as we progress. Okay. So I told you I want to talk about the 6 steps that we follow in on our methodology. All right. So I did a little bit of cheating here ahead of time. So let's start with the very first one. Everybody can see this? Yes. The very first one is mastery, right? Under mastery, we are looking to eliminate the chaos, right? Know even better the very basics of our business, right? Show of hands, how many of you have a great plan for your week, for a given day? What you're gonna do with your day? You get to work, a couple of things happen, and it's out of whack. You have to change priorities and put the fire away and then the next one. And sometimes it's simple things, right? A billing that went wrong, something that was shipped to the wrong place, but that just completely messes us up, right? So when we talk about mastery, we're talking about the basics. And those basics are primarily 4 different things, right? From where are we going? What is our vision? What is that guiding light that we follow, right? What are our goals? Where is it that we're going? If we don't know where we're going, how do we know when we get there, right? So that's one key thing of that mastery. We have financial items, right? And I'm not talking just the financials, although they are key. And I know a lot of business owners that think that's just CPA stuff. No, we need to know them too, right? We need to know them well. Ultimately, we're responsible. But we don't stop right there. We talk about key performance indicators, KPIs, things that you know by looking at them, depending on your business, daily, weekly, where you're going to be. You don't want to know how you did at the end of the month or the end of the quarter. You want those indicators to tell you if things are going well. When we talk about mastery, we also talk about, everybody calls it time management. It's really people management, right? Because we all get the same amount of time. Some people just seem to do much better with it than others, right? So that time management, it's about you and prioritizing, making sure that you're doing the things you need to be doing and not other things that, although important, there's other people that can be doing them, all right? And we talk about delivery. And I'm not talking just logistics. I'm talking of being able to offer a consistent product or service to your customers. When they hire you, they know what they're going to get, right? All those things are that mastery, right? So we move to the second one, second step. And we're going to talk about marketing. And it's in red, and it has a nice asterisk because within our methodology of these 6 steps, here's where we're going to be over the next 4 weeks, right? Here is where that growth happens within that company, right? So when we talk about marketing, how many of you, show of hands, how many of you consider marketing an expense? All right. How many of you consider marketing an investment? Yep, very good. That's very usual, that type of response. So a lot of times when people look at marketing as an expense, is because they're not really sure of what they're getting back when they pay that bill, right? It comes every month or every quarter the way it is, and you're like, yeah, I'm paying that, but I don't know what I got. For those of you that see it as an investment, it's more because you're looking for that ROI, right? In simple words, marketing is us buying customers, right? We make that investment and we expect something to come back greater than what we spend for that, right? We are buying customers. So when we talk about marketing, we're going to be talking about strategies to have a more predictable cash flow, right? You know, because you've been testing and measuring, another key phrase that we're going to be using a lot, testing and measuring what works better for you, right? So under marketing, we're going to talk about what is that unique selling proposition you have? What value do you add? Why are you different than your competition? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about your niche, your target audience that you're going after, right? Very specific. And I am going to deviate out of this a little bit to show you a very key portion of what marketing is under our methodology, right? So when we talk about marketing, we talk about this formula. I hope everybody can see it okay. And if you have a question, please just go ahead and interrupt me. We use this formula, which is simple on paper, but it's very, very powerful, right? So we have leads or prospects, which you convert into customers. Those customers, you want them to come as often as possible, as many transactions as possible, spending as much money as they can, and that will give you revenue, which multiplied by your profit margin is going to give you your profit, right? So I'm actually looking for a couple of answers here. Any idea why customers, revenue, and profit are highlighted in red. And again, I'm looking for an answer too. Oh, just may have to ask somebody.
I'll take a shot, Gonzalo.
Yep,
Those would be important KPIs.
they are important. All right, Jeremy, let's get another answer. Jordan, let me pick on you.
I don't know. I was still trying to decipher it a little bit. I mean, I don't know.
All right, so they are very important, but one of the reasons they're in red is if you look at them, they're right after that equal sign, right? They are outcomes. They are outputs. Yes, they're very important, but unfortunately, it's not as easy as going out tomorrow and say, I'm going to get 10 new customers. It just doesn't happen, right? They are the outcome of 5 other key elements that we can affect. And here's where we're going to be over the next 3 weeks, going on each one of these. And we have a lot of strategies. We have on these 5, we have about 360 strategies that we use with our customers. Are they all going to work for you, for your industry, for your company? Probably not, but that's why we have so many, right? On average, 70 or so. And we're going to share some of those with you over the next few sessions, right? But yeah, very powerful. Leads times conversion rate gives you customers, times transactions and average dollar sale gives you revenue, time profit margin is going to give you your profit, right? So again, I was just teeing this up, and we're going to go in more detail over it over the next few weeks. As we go back to our 6th step, right? Mastery first, marketing. Then we're going to move to systems, okay? And when we talk about systems, we're talking about efficiency, right? We talk about eliminating chaos. We talked about a more predictable cash flow with strategies that work. Here, we're talking about efficiency. How can we do more with less? And here, some phrases that I hear sometimes, maybe this is you, hopefully not, but if it is, or if it sounds familiar, oh, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. No one can do it as well as I can, right? And that mentality may work for a while or while you're a certain size, but if you really want to grow, we need to put that aside, and we need systems. We need processes, right? How can people do the same thing over and over, even if they're new people, right? Because there are processes. And nowadays it's easier than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? We have these great phones where we can take little videos, where we can take pictures of what it is that we need. It's not necessarily simple, and at the beginning, it's going to take some time to create it, but it's going to really set the basis for you to grow. So systems are key. And there is, I like to stop right here. A question that I get every once in a while is, do they have to be in that order, right? What if I start working with you and I actually need help with systems right away? Well, there is a reason for the steps, right? And I'm going to give you an example. Mastery, I said it's the basics, right? I worked once with a customer where on paper, they should be making money. They should have been making money. But the bank wasn't reflecting that. And after digging and digging what was going on, guess what? Their cost structure was wrong, okay? And this is a service company, but it could have been manufacturing. They were pretty much losing money every time they provided a service, okay? So imagine this, if you had a manufacturing and you just pack boxes with a dollar bill on it and out it goes, right? So if we don't get our basics right, why do we want to go and get more customers, right? In this example I just gave you, for this person, it just meant being broke quicker, right? So we need to get this part straight, so then we can bring customers, money in, and depending on your company, in your industry, some of these systems may require an investment. So you need that money first, right? But that is the reason for this. Now, if you tell me, can we start with systems first? Absolutely. We will work on what it is your immediate need, right? But we won't forget that we do have a process that works, okay? So systems, once you have your systems in place, remember we talked about in this definition of we need a successful business that works without you. For that business to work without you, what do we need now? A team, right? And here is when we look for growth, right? I'm giving you little descriptions on each step, what we look at each one of them, right? Here we look for growth. When we look for growth, we look to hire the right people and put them in the right places, right? You hear a lot, we need the right people on the bus. Yes, but we need them on the right seats. Because I am sure, if I ask you, I've seen it many times before in my previous years of corporate America, you have met someone that is a great worker, that they really care, but unfortunately, they are in the wrong position within a company. And it's just not working, and it is killing them. And eventually, it's gonna end up wrong. It's gonna end up bad, right? They're gonna let them go, or they're just gonna leave and be depressed. And for that is where you have to really realize, what is it that I'm looking for? The position that I need to fill, what are the key items that I need, right? And then look for somebody that has those, right? So again, you're looking to hire for growth, not just for the business that you have at this point, but you're really looking at what do I need for the future. So key steps, and really all of them are looking to give you more time, right? Because as we said at the beginning, a lot of business owners really spend too much time. And you know what? If you're starting or for a while, that's fine, but you don't want to be doing that forever, right? So the last two steps are actually, they go hand in hand a lot. They are synergy and freedom, right? And synergy, I'm sure you know the definition or you heard it before. It's really when the whole is much more than the sum of the parts, right? 1 + 1, 3. So when all of this is working really well, as a well-oiled machine, is when you have that synergy. And that's when you can start thinking, what do I do with this business? Is it doing so great? Do I want to open another office of the same? Do I want to franchise it? Do I just want somebody managing it so I can invest in other things, right? Do I have a next generation that want to take over? If that is the case, I am sure you want to set them for success, right? And that is going to be easier when you have these bases covered, right? When you have this covered, it's much easier. What if, this is what we want you to have, that freedom, right? What if you just want to sell it? You don't have another generation. You don't want to hire somebody else to run it. You really want to be done with it, right? At least at a certain point. We want you to have that freedom. If you want to work until the day you die, great. But let's make it a choice, not because we have to, right? So this is the key on these 6 steps. And this is the methodology that we follow when we start working with businesses. And again, for our purpose, for these 4 weeks, we're going to focus on the marketing side of things, right? And we're going to focus, and I'm going to show you again, we're not going to go into the detail today because we don't have the time, but starting next week, here's where we're going to spend our time on these 5 ways, those key buttons that we can push to affect these very important items, as you said, Jeremy. Okay, so I want to ask, any questions, any comments so far? Quiet bunch. Mike, I'm going to send it back to you. Make him talk.
All right, great. Gonzalo, great job. You might be thinking, holy cow, I just got information sprayed to me in a fire hose and I'm not sure what direction to turn. What'll happen, what time, where are we at on time? We're at 10 minutes still. What'll happen is the way to make this matter to you is to personalize it to what you need. So as you think about the steps that were there, what I'd like to get some very just initial quick feedback on is, where do you think you are in those steps? What step is your business in? The other thing that I will call out is, Gonzalo mentioned it, but I want to reinforce it. You could be really efficient with financial performance and measurement in the mastery stage, and you may be figuring out what your USP is in the marketing phase. As Gonzalo said, it's not unusual that you could be operating in multiple of those steps at one time. The other piece of it is, I want to emphasize, those 6 steps are to ultimately, those are foundational in how we work with our clients, is getting them up those steps to the point where they have the freedom to decide, what is it that I want to do? Do I want to stay active in the business as an owner? Whatever. But even whatever that decision is, you can expect a routine and repetitious, successful company that has profit that works without you, okay, with or without you. So I want to open up the microphone here and off the mute button and go around. There's no right or wrong answer, guys. Just based on the little bit of information you've seen here, where do you think you are? Okay. Are you still in the fundamentals? Are you in marketing? Are you really building that team out? Where are you? Let's see, Jordan.
I'd say I'm probably still in the mastery step, but I kind of dive into the marketing whenever I can. But for me specifically, I kind of want to have some sort of portfolio or landing thing that I can use to show what I do and explain to people, because that kind of comes hard across. That's hard to get that across as to what I do and what I'm capable of doing, because people see me doing stuff and are like, well, what kind of levels are you? Are you like a higher end or lower end? I'm like, well, I kind of just adapt to work however. So I'd say I'm probably still kind of in that mastery half step in the marketing side.
I will tell you, video, right? Video is going to be an increasingly important part of virtually everybody's marketing. So that's a great place to be in video, but you want to be able to capitalize on the opportunity. And we'll talk about that when we talk next week about the beginning, as we look at those 5 ways. Where do you start and what guides that discussion? So, but video is going to be a part of it. Lori, sorry.
I think I might have skipped a few steps. I'm building a team. I've done that in the last year, and we've touched marketing a little bit, but my director of sales and we're struggling with that because we have such a niche on our business, and it's hard. Like, how do we reach those people that we need to get to without just doing cold calling, and and how do we create that marketing to give them through the cold calling emails, and how do we do that? So we're struggling a little bit with that. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I kind of have an idea of where I want to go and where I want my business to go, and I kind of have an idea of eventually what I want it to do for me. So
good. That's excellent. That's excellent, and it's a process. I mean, it's something that takes place over time. But in order to facilitate that, you've got to have, you know, a profitable business. Because as Gonzalo said, none of us are nonprofits. We're in this to make a profit. So
Exactly.
excellent. Over the course of the 4 weeks, hopefully we give both, all of you really, but the two that have spoke already, Jordan, you and Lori, hopefully we give you some foundational path to that. Matt, I know you've got to get off the phone here shortly, and I imagine you probably get dentists in all places on that. Any thoughts, any initial thoughts you might want to share?
Sure. The big deal for me is the synergy. You know, like I said, I have tons of IP, so systems and processes and I go back a long, long way. A lot of things you're talking about really are reminiscent of Covey, you know, Stephen Covey. A little twist, you know, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So there's a little twist in language, but I really like, you know, at the bottom, it's more the habits of independence, and then at the top, interdependence. And that's really the tough thing when people make promises and they don't do what they're supposed to do, or they don't do what they agreed to do, or even better, they give you a ton of money to dig a hole, and then every time you dig a hole, they're filling it in again. And that's really very difficult. That's why being a lawyer is really helpful, because I get to essentially prove my case. So, you know, so I hopefully get them back on track, but if not, we have to sever the relationship. And that happens, you know, I'd say more than half the time, just like half the marriages end in divorce. Half the business marriages also end in divorce or more. So I'd say on the synergy side, it's really difficult to keep going forward when you find that a relationship you've had that you thought were really going to work out, don't work out. And I'm real big on LinkedIn marketing and collaboration. That's all I'm about, is collaboration. So you have to have systems in place that enable you to quickly fill up the pipeline and then filter out all the stuff that is not going to work. So that's been our real challenge. Like right now, if I've got 100 dental offices that want to double their practice valuation, and that's not necessarily double their income, the valuation, which is EBITDA, you know, profit, EBITDA, we have a $200 million business. So it's not a question of, and I don't want the money. I don't really care about the money. I care about creating new stuff. So for me, it's like finding the right 10 dentists who want to get 10 dentists. That's 100, right? But create a franchisable model within that. And it requires a ton of synergy. So that's where I am, is finding the right people who are in alignment. Either they are dentists or they're professionals like dental CPAs or attorneys whose ideal clients are dentists, or business owners whose ideal clients are dentists. And a little disappointed I didn't hear anybody here who fit any of those 3 categories. But yeah,
we'll find you some dentists. Don't worry, Matthew.
Well, it'd be great. But you know, but at the end of the day, it's not just dentists. It's like dentists who are passionate. Because for me, it's all about the passion. It's like, for me, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So I've been free for 30 years because I was a musician before I was a lawyer. I know what it is to play for a living. I don't have to work for a living. So what I do every day is just so much fun. I bet you feel the same way about what you're doing. You love it, right? I mean, it's just,
absolutely. Yep.
So you're not working. And if you're not working, then the only question is how much energy can you keep going so you find the right people that will create synergy with you, because 2 + 2 is 5 if you got the right people. 2 + 2 is -3 if you got the wrong people. So you know, it's really a question of finding the right people, and I'm always sifting. And so, like, for example, on the team side, with my managed joint ventures, I created a way where people actually pay me to be on my team. I get to do all the work, but I get to get money. Why? Because I've got the systems and the processes. If you need systems and processes, you'd be better off to buy them somewhere, just like people should buy your systems and processes from Action Coach if they find there's a good fit for them with you. But at the end of the day, you got to find the systems and the processes that are going to work for you, whether you build them yourself, which is probably not a good use of time if you have the mastery to do what you do best and what you love to do.
Yeah.
So that's for me. I just find you've got to do what you love to do. You got to do what you're passionate about. Try to help as many people as you can along the way, and then you know, have enough metrics in place, enough systems in place to measure performance. Because what you don't want to do is punish guys who are doing the job, because you burden your organization with people who don't do the job or can't do the job or whatever. So they're sucking all your energy out of you. So synergy is definitely at the top of my list.
Great.
I hope I wasn't too long-winded.
No, thanks, Matt. Jeremy, how about you?
Well, I live in each one of those steps every day. I think the marketing is really timely for me. My business, I've been investing a lot of my time and a lot of my mental work into the marketing piece, documenting our sales process, pivoting more toward a remote selling model. We build our business on direct sale, a lot of face-to-face interaction with customers and potential customers. So what Gonzalo, reviewed there to me was a sales process, and I'm really trying to master that. So,
Awesome.
so that I can scale. So,
Well, one
marketing
thing's
is
for sure. While face-to-face may be a part of the business selling part going forward, the Zoom and the virtual is not going away. We're not putting the toothpaste back in the container for sure. So, Dennis, how about you? Where are you at?
Well, I think that we are at the team level.
Okay.
A huge factor in our little business, like I said, I can't draw at parties these days. So it's all studio stuff. And I'll tell you, you can spend a week on one drawing that you get $100 for. That can be done. I've done it. We're getting a lot of assignments right now for the studio stuff. And the challenge here is to be more efficient at it. And your discussion of team building made me review that. There have been a few fine artists, and I'm not one of them, who actually made a nice living because they learned how to delegate. The master artist would go in and do the layout, and the student would do the hard work, fill in the sky, fill in the forest. And the master artist, I think Rubens did that, would come in and do the resemblance and so forth. And it was much more efficient. He made a nice living. I can do something like that with other artists who are younger than I am, but I can do the layouts, pass it over to them, and so forth. I'd never had that concept until I saw the presentation a minute ago.
Oh, awesome. Good. Well, we're gonna continue to build on that. So that's good to hear, Dennis. Sestini, how about you?
I think right now I'm more into I'm toggling between systems, market, and mastery, because even though I know what my vision is, like overall, I still kind of say like I know where I think I'm going, but then sometimes I stop and I go, wait, do I have an actual like direct goal of where I'm going? Because I just want to help people. Like that's one of my biggest goals is being able to make enough money to be able to support the passions I have in like feeding people, helping people have clothing, being able to provide my products maybe at a lower rate so that people who really want organic skincare can still afford it. Those are kind of my goals, right? And then I do want eventually to pass this on to my kids or somebody else who would want to do it. And then marketing, I think I've kind of been doing that from the beginning with giving free things out, sending little notes when I send my stuff. I've been like kind of building through word of mouth and referral this whole time, but I want to take marketing to another level. Like I do posts and things like that, but I feel like I want to have it more systematically done to where because I've noticed on the back end when I watch my analytics, when I post, that's when I see the spikes in my engagement on all of my platforms. So I'm like, obviously people are paying attention when I do something. I'm just not doing it frequently enough because I can't come up with the content fast enough or something, right? And so then it moves me into a point of, okay, thinking efficiently, systematically, how can I do that? And then of course, I'm also thinking like, I have more orders coming in because of the things I'm doing. So I'm gonna have to get to a point where I have a team. So I'm not at team yet because I want those other things to work pretty well before I hire someone and make sure that it's actually going somewhere and I'm not hiring someone and then not able to keep them on board.
Good stuff. We're going to challenge you to think about your marketing a little bit differently. I heard a couple of things in there in your description, giving stuff away for free or discounting and price reductions. There's things we can talk about and that you'll pick up over the next 3 sessions as well. Lastly, Kelly, how about you? And then we'll wrap up.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry, couldn't get off mute.
Yeah.
Zoom today, right?
Right.
I am just getting started. Like I'm just created my business and stepping away from a corporate job. And so I get to start with mastery.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's awesome. Great. Thank you. Here's what we're going to do. One thing that I didn't mention, I don't think, is we are going to challenge you with a little bit of homework. And you got till Friday to email it, but it's very simple. It's going to be what we talked about, okay? The way this is going to become, the way you take it from these 45 minutes every Tuesday to making it impact your business is going to be, personalize some of this stuff and make it happen instead of just listening to it, okay? So here's what I want you to do. And let me back up. Gonzalo and I are going to split you up and call you between now and our next session. And we're going to have just a conversation, not about the concept, but how do we take it to your business, okay? How can we help you make it have an impact on your business, okay? So homework. I want you to identify your business's 3 main challenges right now, your top 3 challenges, and I want you to write them down, okay? The last part of the homework is we've already talked about it a little bit, but when Gonzalo and I call, I want you to describe to us again where you're at in the 6 steps, okay?
And those are going to be brief calls, so don't think I'm going to.
Yeah. Thank you. It's going to be a 10-minute call unless you choose for it to be differently, okay? Those will be your choices. So top 3 challenges in your business today, and where are you? We'll call between now and then, key those in and send them to Kyron. They send them to you, right?
Can't hear you, Kyron. But
yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Actually, they'll send it to Katrina. So
Okay.
everyone,
Right.
you guys would have gotten your invites from Katrina. So you'll get the future communication from her, and you can just respond back to her.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, Karen, I got it mixed up. So that's a wrap for today. You know what to expect now. You know we'll make it very more interactive, and we're really going to get after the 5 ways for you to grow your business. Okay. So thank you everybody for the first session. Thank you for your time.